cried when you kissed the ground. I got no...
Back with Billy Ray Cyrus and Tyler and Ken program, talking about Chick-fil-A, very important things. Write a Chick-fil-A song real quick. What would you do if you could sing for Chick-fil-A?
Oh, wow, what would I do? Well, right here it says, eat more chicken. I'm gonna eat more chicken. I think it's frickin' time to eat more chicken. The fingers are licking. I'm gonna eat more chicken. Something like that.
Billy Ray Cyrus.
That's great.
With Tyler and Ken.
That is
Eat more chicken.
fantastic.
So, got to ask you about this. Yeah, we had Chuck Wicks on the show a few weeks ago.
Oh, Chuck, man, he's good.
Well, he's a bit of a dandy.
Now, hold on. You have to ask a person if they're friends with that person before you knock on that person.
I'm saying he's a bit of a dandy. He's a pretty boy. He is fancy.
He's good. He's good.
He's I didn't say he wasn't good. I said he's fancy.
Okay. Well, he's a bit of an air conditioning kind of pansy there. Yeah, a little bit. He didn't want to sweat. We did this backyard barbecue thing, and he didn't want to sweat.
Yeah.
It got over.
Ain't nobody going to sweat in here because it's like 27 degrees.
Yeah, we keep it cool in here.
Y'all hang meat in here?
We do once in a while.
Yeah,
every time we walk in the studio.
Yeah. Oh, my.
We'll have to edit that out, of course.
Yes, indeed
That'll be
do.
just for us.
But how about that? But no, he was on Dancing with the Stars. Now, you were on a different season, or were you on the same season as him? Because you were on Dancing, right?
I was on there.
Was he? What season were you on Dancing with the Stars? It wasn't his last one then.
No, it was a couple years ago, I think.
How was it? Was that tough?
I've tried to forget about it.
Doing some waltzing and stuff?
Up until you just mentioned it, I hadn't. I deleted it from. It was painful. Is what it was. It was painful.
I'm having flashbacks, man.
Extreme. I did a show last week with George Strait, and went in to talk to him after the show, and man, the first thing he said was, "I love that Back to Tennessee song, man. Congratulations, that's a big hit." I said, "It died at 49." He said, "Oh, man," you could tell he had never heard the words "died at 49," so he tried to think of something else to say, and he said, "Man, I loved you on Dancing with the Stars." I said, "That's the most painful experience I've ever been to."
Something about George Strait, I cannot see him sitting down, in Texas in fuzzy slippers on a Tuesday night and flipping the old remote control on a Dancing with the Stars. I just can't see that. But maybe.
I'll tell you where he looked right at home. We were at Saskatchewan, Canada, and it was like 35,000 people out there, and they were partying and ready to go. And I went on right before George and just had a big time out there. That crowd was just a great evening. And, man, when he took the stage, it was
people just flip out.
They just flipped out. And he said, "Man, you really had that crowd going out there." And I said, "Man, all I did was mention your name every now and then, and the crowd would just go crazy." And it was true. It was like the easiest show I ever played. Because there's some crowds you go out and you, as an entertainer, you have to reach out there.
Milk them a little
sometimes
bit.
you got to work it, But this crowd, man, well, they were ready to rock from the word go. But even if they weren't, all I had to do was go, "And got anybody out there that loves George Strait?" The place would roar.
And if that doesn't work, you can always just mention the city that you're in. You're like, Des Moines, woo, everybody, yeah, Des Moines.
As long as you're in Des Moines, you don't pull a Britney Spears.
Right.
That's a problem.
Right.
That's a problem. You know what's funny, Billy? I saw you perform. You were in Nashville. It was like 2 years ago, Fanfare, whatever they're calling it this year, in the big stadium. And you came out and performed.
Ooh.
And to this day, you whip out the achy breaky. And you start moving like Elvis, and, women go absolutely ridiculously crazy for that silly song. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
It's not a silly song. It's an
Achy
anthem.
Breaky Heart.
It's an anthem.
It's a silly song.
I'll tell you what it is.
Silly. What, how many millions upon millions? 17 weeks at number one or something crazy like that?
Bruce Springsteen just said, "Man, it's just a fun little rock and roll song." And then he played it.
He played Achy Breaky?
Yes, he did.
Did he really?
Yes, he did. He did. And he said, "Man, it's just a fun little rock and roll song." And actually, that's the best description of the song. It's just, when I heard it, it was just a guy that wrote it was a Vietnam veteran.
Right.
That had never, hadn't had any cuts. He was actually hanging wallpaper up in Illinois at the time, and said, man, he'd been knocking on Nashville's door with all these serious songs. He said, "Man, I keep getting turned down. I'm just going to write a fun little rock and roll song." And he wrote the song. When I heard it, it was just him on a guitar in his basement, chug, 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 just his natural, kind of like that, like that. And And I heard his demo, and I was like, man, I stood up and said, before it even started, I said, that's me. That's me. I just heard that nasty little guitar back there chugging. And I'll tell you, man, I grew up on a whole lot of, the Leonard Skinner, the Allman Brothers, ZZ Top, and Charlie Daniels, that sound, just that good, fun rock and roll, Bob Seger kind of thing. And I just always loved, every now and then you got to sing a song for the fun of it.
Well, Achy Breaky.
That's what that song is, just a fun song.
It is your stairway to heaven.
I think you might be right. Let me see.
Billy Ray Cyrus with Tyler and Ken.
Y'all got to sing too, though.
You got it.
All right.
And as long as that young lady keeps dancing up there, that's inspiring. I love the way you do that.
I got a little change in my...
Oh, okay, let's do that one then.
Didn't it sound like that?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's do that one.
I got a little change in my pocket going jing-a-ling-a-ling.
Call you on the telephone, baby. Give you a ring.
Now each time we talk, I get the same old thing. Oh, with no hugging, no kissing until I get a wedding ring. Now, honey, now, baby, don't leave my love on no shelf. She said, don't
Give
hand
me
me
no
no
line. Keep your hands to yourself.
All right.
Oh, we did that one instead.
Very
All
good.
right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
You know what, though? But point proved right there. It's just that song.
That's
a fun
like
little
you were saying.
rock and roll song,
Yep.
And that's every now and then one of them comes around that just sticks,
Well, let's hear it.
Because people like to rock.
They do, indeed.
People like to rock and they like to have fun.
I'm ready to rock some Achy Breaky.
I'm going to save it.
Oh, please.
I'm going to save it, yeah.
Really?
Oh, such a tease.
All right. Well, hey, you know what?
I'll save it for later.
All right. We got to take a break anyway. So I guess,
all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Guess Ken, you're going to stick around a little while, right?
Yeah, I'll stick around if you want me to.
Billy, a little while longer. Do you mind?
Sure.
I
Let's
know
go.
you got coffee on the bus. So, Billy Ray Cyrus, Tyler and Ken program. Do not move.